Our next speaker is Her Excellency Ellen Trane Norby, Minister for Children, Education and Gender Equality of Denmark. Your Excellency, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President of the General Conference, Madame Directeur Générale, Mr. President of the Executive Board, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by congratulating every one of us with the anniversary and the achievements of UNESCO in the 17th years of its existence. We mark this anniversary at a time when Member States and the United Nations have come together and launched a new compelling agreement to eradicate extreme poverty and to set an agenda for global sustainable development towards 2030. Denmark is fully committed to follow up on the 2030 agenda, nationally and in our cooperation with our international development partners. In the past years, ongoing conflicts with extremism and terrorism we have witnessed throughout the world. We have seen an unprecedented destruction and plundering of outstanding cultural heritage and cultural artifacts. We support the work of UNESCO and the Director General in fighting these attacks and in condemning them. We also underline the importance of UNESCO's standard setting and operational work in the field of media development, freedom of expression and safety of journalists throughout the world. Freedom of expression is a fundamental human right and a basic condition for progress in democracies, which needs to be protected and strengthened. Denmark is an active member of the Council and the Bureau of the International Programme for the Development of Communication. And in the same line, we also co-organize an important side event this Friday on artistic freedom in connection to the session of the Cultural Commission. I hope many of you will participate, because the artistic and the cultural freedom is another freedom of expression that is extremely important to protect in our world of today. We are aware that the UNESCO for the last 4 years have had to deal with some extraordinary budget issues, and I wish to thank the Director General and her staff for managing to keep up the spirit and the important program activities. This has been key, that we have made a reform of the UNESCO at the same time of keeping the focus on the content. Looking back only a week ago, one of the Danish universities, the University of Aalborg, from the northern part of Denmark, co-hosted a conference of the impact of UNESCO. Numerous studies have shown that the UNESCO activities do have an impact in the different countries, and I think it's important that we also document these findings. Looking forward, we need to focus exactly on the same question. How can we further strengthen the relevance and the impact of UNESCO in the world and in our respective countries? We, from the side of the Danish government, share the vision of the Director General to shape an organization that is more fit to deliver, and we encourage her to continue necessary reforms, not just of the structures and the costs, but also on the quality of the programs that is delivered and makes change. Governance in the UNESCO needs to be lighter, less costly and more efficient and more strategic in its view. At national level in Denmark, we are currently working to increase the visibility and the relevance of UNESCO with a view to strengthen action across traditional administrative policy silos. Let me mention just a few of the points that we see that where we see that UNESCO matters to us. Quality education in a globalized world must involve a global outlook, an understanding of the interconnections. There, the UNESCO values and inclusive works on education for global citizenship and the sustainable development really matters. UNESCO's global network of learning cities is an important initiative for a number of cities in Denmark, and we are working to join the network and gain inspiration on how to put inclusive learning at the center of sustainable city development, a city development that also includes the citizens in the cities. In relation to global geoparks and the Man and Biosphere program, we have projects approved and on the way in Denmark that help communities focus on their special qualities and potential and stimulate positive local development and dynamics. In order to achieve a sustainable development, we will have to include our local communities even more into the organization and into the policy decisions. For all these reasons, the work of UNESCO is important, not only to us in Denmark, but on a wide global level. Education for everybody, a protection of the cultural heritage, a focus on the freedom of expression and the right for people to express themselves, that be journalists, that be artists, that be people in general, is an important value, not least in our world of today. From the Danish side, we look forward to a closer cooperation within the UNESCO framework, and I thank you for your attention and look forward to a close cooperation.